Everywhere you look in Britain, the story of Islam triggers strong reactions. Pickets outside mosques, headlines saying, "Churches under threat, fears of Britain converting." But here's the truth, Islam is growing in the UK not because of conquest but because the faith speaks to modern Britain's spiritual, social, and identity needs. Let's begin by peeling back the headlines and seeing the reality. In the 2021 census for England and Wales, the Muslim population stood at 3.87 million, or 6.5% of the population, up from about 2.71 million, 4.8%, in 2011. That increase, around plus 1.16 million in 10 years, accounted for roughly 33% of the total growth in population for England and Wales over that period. In short, Islam isn't shrinking, it is expanding. And this growth is more than immigration, it's built into Britain's future. Muslim communities in the UK are relatively young. That youthfulness helps explain part of the growth: families, births, new generations raised in faith. Consider, the median age for Muslims is significantly lower than for many other faith groups. While the precise number is not always in public domain for UK alone, global research by the Pew Research Center shows young populations correlate with growth. In practice, this means, where many denominations face aging congregations, the British Muslim community has children, schools, families, and an investment in the next generation. For the first time in UK census history, a majority of Muslims in England and Wales are UK-born. The Muslim Council of Britain reports that about 50% of the community is British-born. In certain cities the number is higher, for example, Bradford around 65%, Oldham 59%. That means Islam's growth is not simply via newcomers, it is increasingly internal, generational, domestically rooted. Conversions to Islam are much harder to measure reliably. But research suggests they play a role. A survey estimated around 5,200 converts in the UK in 2010 among surveyed mosques. An older article referenced a decade of growth from 2001 to 2010, from about 60,000 to 100,000 converts in one study. So while conversion is not the dominant growth engine, it is real and meaningful, individuals choosing faith in a personal journey. Immigration of Muslims from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Somalia, the Middle East and Africa has obviously contributed to the community's size in the UK. A Pew analysis found that between mid-2010 and mid-2016, roughly 43% of all migrants to the UK were estimated to be Muslims. But growth isn't simply about arrival, it's about settlement, British-born children, integration into schools, universities, and workplaces. Islamic faith becomes part of Britain's social fabric rather than an external appendage. For many people, faith is about more than ritual, it's about community and belonging. Mosques today offer youth services, language classes, family support, charity drives, and social hubs. This sense of being part of something, of having purpose and connection, is a big pull. For converts and for birth members alike, Islam in Britain often offers a communal anchor in a time of increasing social isolation. In an era when many traditional institutions, including church attendance, are declining, Islam offers routine, discipline, and clear family values. Daily prayers, weekly community gatherings, festival rhythms, like Ramadan, and family ties, all provide a framework. For many young British Muslims, this framework supports identity, purpose, and resilience in changing times. One headline issue: old churches being repurposed as mosques. Some see this as replacement, others see renewal. In many cases, the original church building had dwindling attendance and was closed or repurposed before the mosque arrived. The narrative of Islam taking over must be placed in context. City center demographics change, neighborhoods evolve, and buildings find new life. This is part of natural urban transformation rather than organized conquest. Fear sometimes drives stories. Britain will become Islamic, mosques are big and powerful, and churches are disappearing. But the numbers don't support panic. Muslims remain a minority, 6.5%. Christian affiliation is still the largest single group, though declining. Growth of Islam here is non-violent, organic, and socially integrated. It does not equal domination, it means diversity. Educational outcomes, youth engagement, and career aspirations, these matter. Many British Muslim families emphasize schooling, further education, and professional life. In the census, Muslims aged 20 to 24 had an unemployment rate of 13.0%, higher than the national average of 9% for that age group. That suggests challenges remain but also underlines the importance of a young, mobile community striving for advancement. British Muslims are part of national life, professionals, business owners, doctors, teachers, and community leaders. The growth of the community contributes economically and socially. While detailed national-level breakdowns are rarer, the demographic momentum builds civic weight and presence, which means Islam is less outside and more woven into Britain's fabric. Being British and being Muslim are not opposing identities. Surveys by the Muslim Council of Britain show that 94% of British-born Muslims in England and Wales say they have a strong sense of British identity. This dual identity helps explain why growth is less about separatism and more about living faithfully within a British context. Growth brings opportunity but also challenges. Economic inactivity among Muslims aged 16 to 64 was 41.9% compared with 24.7% for the overall population in England and Wales, according to the 2021 census. These are structural issues: employment, education, housing, where faith communities often step in to help via charities, mutual support, and innovation. The narrative around Islam often tilts toward fear or alarm. Media focus on extremism, church-to-mosque conflicts, and protests. Yet public data shows growth rooted in youth, family, and community. It's important to shift the frame. Growth of Islam is not a takeover, it is one expression of Britain's changing religious and cultural map. With a younger age profile, more British-born members, and growing visibility, the Muslim community's footprint is shifting. That means the future will not just look like the past. Schools, workplaces, and public life will reflect more diverse faith backgrounds. It doesn't mean uniformity of worldview. The British Muslim community is diverse, but it means it is here to stay. British Muslims are connected globally, via family, heritage, faith networks, but they are also local, in neighborhoods, local schools, civic life. That dual root gives strength. Migration matters, but so does settlement, second-generation integration. The narrative of newcomers only tells part of the story. Faith communities contribute to society, charity, education, civic engagement. Muslim charities in Britain run food banks, youth mentoring, educational programs. This contribution builds bridges rather than walls. Growth of Islam here means a faith that doesn't withdraw from society, but engages, serves and integrates. Faith communities contribute to society, charity, education, civic engagement. Muslim charities in Britain run food banks, youth mentoring, educational programs. This contribution builds bridges rather than walls. Growth of Islam here means a faith that doesn't withdraw from society, but engages, serves and integrates. As Britain evolves, so too does its religious landscape. Islam's growth is part of that evolution, not as the end of one story but the beginning of a richer, more plural chapter. At the last census, Christians in England and Wales dropped from around 59.3% in 2011 to 46.2% in 2021, while no religion and other faiths rose. So the question isn't, is Islam taking over, but how will Britain change and what role will faith play? This is a time of possibility. Growth isn't a threat, it's an invitation to build a more inclusive and resilient society together. If this video made you think, drop a comment. Share your view. And let's keep the conversation going, not through fear, but through understanding.